and gentlemen, our event is about to begin in a few minutes. Please return to your seats and switch your mobile phone to the silent mode. Thank you.
Good afternoon on keynote speaker and participant. I am Prof. Nguyễn Đậu Phong, Chairman of University Board of University Economic, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. I would like to say thank to more than 40 local, international jury members, universities, company, local authority, NGO, around the world to organize the event series, namely Shaping the Unknown Future Toward Smart City, which meant hosted by Institute of Smart City and Management, ISCM UES. UES, that means our university is a leading university of Vietnam in the economic management and business administration field, and is one of top 25 world-best university for making significant contribution to lifelong career development by Humility Brand 2020. In our university, we warmly welcome on local and international professors, specialists, and stakeholders to join our intensive network to contribute to better education as well as better quality of people's life. I strongly believe that together we can overcome this tough time and we can move forward stronger than ever. Welcome to all of you to panel discussion, innovative approach.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Nguyễn Đăng Phong, for the opening remarks. Welcome all of you to the third event in the series of Shaping the Unknown Future Towards Smart City, organized by Institute of Smart City and Management, University of Economics, Ho Chi Minh City. My name is Thảo. I'm very honored to be hosting this event today. On behalf of the organization, I would like to say thank you to all of you taking some time for this lovely afternoon today. To adapt the rapid development and urbanization, what innovation and innovative approach will be suitable to solve or eliminate urban issues towards smart city development? You will find your answer in this webinar discussion in the topic Innovative Approach. The panelists today are invited as well from top-list university and institute from Vietnam, Japan, and France. Now it's time for an exciting panel discussions. I would like to introduce Dr. Vũ Kim Oanh, moderator of panel discussion today. Please join me in welcoming our panelists and give a round of applause to our speaker.
Thank you very much, Ms. Tao. It is a great pleasure for me to be part of this panel discussion today. So let me now introduce our honorable speakers. First of all, I'm very pleased to introduce to you Dr. Tu Anh Triệt, Director of the Institute of Smart City and Management at University of Economics since May 2020. So she's the one who connected us, everybody around the world to this discussion today. So thank you very much, Tu Anh. So just one point interesting, she has built her career, academic career as a professor and dean in many faculties of national university in Vietnam and other countries. So thank you very much, and we are very welcome to this panel discussion, Dr. Tu Anh. The second panelist of our discussion is Dr. Đức Phạm, Vice Dean of the Faculty of Environment and Occupational Safety at Tôn Đức Thắng University, Ho Chi Minh City. His project focuses on water quality assessment methods and ecological health service. Thank you, Dr. Đức, for being with us today. Dr. Tai Tang, the third panelist, he is currently working as a lecturer at the Faculty of Environment and Occupational Safety at Tôn Đức Thắng University in Ho Chi Minh City. Dr. Tai's studies focus on various problems and technical aspects of water and wastewater treatment technology, eco-restoration technology, etc. He's currently working as lecturer at Faculty of Environment and Occupational Safety at Tôn Đức Thắng University. And Dr. Kien To, welcome Dr. Kien from Japan, a senior planner and manager based in Tokyo. Before joining the industry in 2017, he was a researcher and lecturer in urban planning and design with over 20 years of academic experience and strong focus on Asia. Dr. Kien is currently a senior lecturer at the ISEM of the UADH. The next panelist, I'm very pleased to introduce to you Professor Karim Mejad. He holds the chair of International Business Development at the CNAM, a great institution in Paris, France. And he started his career as a lawyer in international law firms, and he continues to practice in the field of venture capital transaction and international contracts. And finally, I'm very pleased to be here with you also. My name is Kim Wang Vu. I'm International Project Manager at the CNAM since 2017. And so now, before inviting to the stage the first group of panelists to take the speech, I'd like to draw your attention to our central question of the discussion today. The question is, so it could be for the audience as well to think about, as a professor teaching innovation or as a key actor involved in territorial design, what is your vision of the smart city? So please illustrate your vision by the innovative approach that you are adopt to address today's rapid changing world. So let's listen to the first group of panelists. Dr. Tu Anh, please, your stage.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Oanh, and also thank you all of the panelists and also participants around the world. So today, our group from me, Tu Anh, and Dr. Đức and Dr. Tai, we will discuss about our big project we call Smart Detector to Apply Science Incubator. So what do we want to do and what we want to develop on this? Because we are also talking about the smart city. So everybody thinking about the smart city is a technology. But smart city is not technology. Smart city is something that we are thinking, like we will show the urban issue by the technology and also with our efficiently resources. So it means that you develop the smart city, it means that you show as much as you can for all of the urban issues that happen every day. So with of this, we need the integration between the different fields, like me from transportation, somebody from urban planning, and so with the Đức from the environment and also from the material. So we try to work together and also we build up how to educate the platform that we are built up. So for that kind of this projects, we also identify which is the current urban issue that we want to show. So we have to main for three urban issues that we want to approach now. with the improve, we call innovative approach. The first one, we can see like now for the air pollution and also the environment impact is really very huge and very terrible around the world. So we are thinking something like a similar like a developing country like Vietnam. We depend a lot from the agriculture, and we also have the air pollution and so on. So what we can apply, so we are thinking to develop the smart a smart detector for the environment. This is the one package in our big project. And we want to apply it in Vĩnh Long. It's the one of the province in Ho Chi Minh, in Vietnam. And the second, when we get that kind of this, we want to inspire our, how to say, the innovative idea to the other, or to the young generation. So we want to build up one incubator, innovative incubator that in that area, the young generation, they can develop, they can have an idea to show the different urban issues. And the next one, how we can train and how we can inspire this and how we can apply this. Because nowadays we can learn from each other and we have a very good smart detector, but we need the language to transfer and to teach. And when the language, when you transfer, it also have the limitation because of English to Vietnam, French to Vietnam is also something very difficult to smoothly understanding. So we try to build up the one education platform that in that area we can use from VR, more visualized. So the people no need to understand French or English or the other languages. They just see about in the screen how to apply and how to use this. So it's our three main project that we are trying to do. So I think for the first package we are talking about to the smart environment detector, I will leave my stage to Mr. Đức. He will come up with the first idea about how we want to develop the smart environment detector. So it's just.
Thank Dr. Tu Hành, dear Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I would like to present the smart environmental sensor. Yeah, as you know, the reform, the policies, the launches in Vietnam in 1986, as you know, the đổi mới. Yeah, there are four main rules. The first change to a market-based economy. The second, social reform. The third, promotion of science and technology. And finally, welcoming the foreign partner. Yes, as a result, the national GDP and the average income increase. At the same time, the environmental pollution, get worse also. Yeah, look at the slide. Yeah, you see the data. Wet water and wet water, yes, the discharge to the rivers, nearly 2 million cubic meter a day, and you see the air and noise pollution cost for the nearby 8 million vehicle and a factory from the nearly 1,000 businesses. Yeah, for the solid waste from a domestic, from industrial or waste, okay, now over 10,000 tons per day. At the same time, that from the construction side, yet over 1,000 tons per day. Yeah, according to the World Bank data, moderate farmer use more fertilizer and pesticide than recommend. You see, insecticide more than 1,000 per year, and herbicide for snail killer more than 1,700 tons per year, and some more. Next one, I would like to discuss about the change in the waste management in Ho Chi Minh City. Currently, the disposal methods such as landfill incineration, chemical effluent treatment as well. Yeah. Another one change in the sustainable agriculture management for the agroecology. Yeah, the principle based on diversities, efficiencies, synergy, recycling, and interaction. Yeah, one more the matters about the IBM integrated better management applied for the sustainable agriculture management also. Yes, the next one I would like to discuss about the approach in the waste management. You see, nowadays the 5R applied for the waste management. The first, rating. The second, reduction. The third, reduce. Okay, the fourth, the recycling, and finally, recovery. Yeah, for applies the question of the artificial intelligence in waste management. Yes, the community barcodes, the automatic sorter apply. Yes, this apply the first sorting waste with the barcodes. The second, small and compact. The next, located through the city and town also. And finally, is collect the big data, manage the big data in the computer. Yeah, you can look at the barcode sorting and apply the computer for waste management. Yes, this can implement this by the computer recycling in a landfill. Yeah. Finally, I discussed about the application of the artificial intelligence in the agriculture. Yeah, the first, crop years, the predict and the bright forecast. The second, intelligent spraying. Yeah, the third, predictive insight. Yes, next one, we can apply the agriculture robots. The next one, growth and soil monitoring. And finally, we can manage the disease diagnosis. Yeah. That's the application for the artificial intelligence in agriculture. Yeah, thank you so much for your listening. Next one, I would like to introduce Dr. Tăng Văn Tai. He shared the eco material.
Yes, thank you very much for Dr. De for my presentation. So, okay, today I need to introduce you about the spongeicity. My research study is the application eco material to construct spongeicity. It's the first one I take Ho Chi Minh City is a background to study, and Ho Chi Minh City is a big city in Vietnam, and it is a central cultural and economic in Vietnam. And Ho Chi Minh City is affected by climate change in the world. So two problems expect to happen to Ho Chi Minh City. The first is a urban flooding, and second is urban water sulfate pollution. And the second, I can introduce you the background. The first is the first corner is a rural or some condition covered by the vegetation. The stormwater will directly to infiltration into the soil, like
and 10%, only 10% is become a runoff and flow on the surface. But in urban, what happened is covered by impermeable porous concrete. So the stormwater cannot directly infiltration in the soil, and it will form the runoff and flow in the surface. This causing of the flooding in the city. And we see in this picture, in the urban, the impermeable concrete surface will have a lot of waste, pollution, heavy metal, and under flooding by in the high tide condition, it will causing of water level. We are often flooding in the maybe some in the 5 p.m. And the second is the high storm water will become the flow, and flow will dilute and cause pollution directly into the river flow and all throughout the drainage system of urban. That's causing the pollution in the river. And the urban case, we can see in the figure the petty seepage and fertilizer is causing of the pollution of the some stream in the rural. And what solution for we are? So we need construction, the engineering construction that can have absorb the flooding and have a high effect to water purification. And the second, we can use the eco material which have a high absorb capacity to reduce the pollution in stormwater. And the second is use the filter the pollution in the stormwater. So, spongeicity is a good solution for us. And we can see in the spongeicity, we will construct the permeable on the surface of urban that can allow the stormwater and flooding directly filling in the soil layer. And the second, we can construct something is the wetland and the pool. This can absorb the flooding in the urban. And three, we can based on the microorganisms and plant or vegetation that can have absorb to pollution in the stormwater. So three kind of the construction of the spongeicity. One is the permeable pavement. Second is bioretention, and third is the constructive wetland. So we can see in here, in the red color, we can see with impermeable concrete surface covered by air surface of urban, the flooding have a high value. But when we use the low impact development technology, we can treatment the flooding. And the second, in the three way to treatment stormwater. First, we can use the plant to absorb nutrients. And the second is use the soil microorganisms. And the third, we can use eco material to filter stormwater. So I'm interested to you about the broad concrete. Broad concrete is have with composed by the gravel and cement. It can provide the void porosity structure, and it contains a lot of void. You can see in the void now is the 25 to 40%. Yes. It can allow the stormwater can directly in throughout this structure, and porosity of structure can provide the breeding of microorganisms and provide habitat for the growth of the plant that can improve absorb nutrient and treatment nutrient in the stormwater and wastewater. And here is eco material. Eco material we expect to gain. First is absorption material, and second is a filter material. Absorption material very expensive, but it have a high pore structure that can have a high effect to absorb nutrient. And filter material is usually sand or gravel. It can have a high filter capacity that can remove pollution in the particle form, maybe it's a heavy metal and organic matter or some bacteria or some other. And so we can message absorption material and filter material to improve water purification capacity. And we see in the structure of the absorption material, we have a contact and lack porosity. It have a high effect to absorb nutrient. So we see that in the zeolite and activities carbon, it have a high effect to remove the ammonium, nitrogen, and phosphorus in the storm water. And here is a pavement. Pavement is a construct, is combined by porous concrete and gravel layer. This can allow the storm water directly infiltration into the soil layer. In here is Chu Changlu in Nanjing, China. It is my project. Is usually after construction, the worker directly pour the water in the surface of the pavement, and pavement porous concrete are absorb the water directly into the soil. So the second is the bioretention. How bioretention working? The storm, the high pollution storm water will directly flow into the bioretention, and the pollution will accumulate in the soil filter layer and soil layer, just causing the pollution will accumulate this in the soil layer and will treated by soil microorganisms and biofilm on the eco material, maybe zeolite or gravel, and it will absorb by vegetation. And the third is a wetland. Wetland, we have two kind of wetland. One is a sulfate wetland, and second is a subsulfate wetland. Two kind wetland have a high effect to reduce the pollution in the storm water, and it can improve habitat for the ground of the plant, or can improve the beautiful of urban. So it's very important construction is spongeicity. So spongeicity, we can see that it have a high effect to reduce flooding in the urban and can reduce the pollution in the storm water, and ecological eco material. It have a high effect to absorb pollution and remove. It can be causing a structure that can allow the storm water directly infiltration in the soil layer. So it's we can application eco material for many ecological engineering structure in spongeicity. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tai. So I think that you also have the own idea, like what do we want to do, because like for the environment, so like Mr. Đức just sharing that you also can see like we have the problem with the agriculture, with the water, with the waste treatment. And we're also thinking how to make the detector. And our detector is the smart detector. It's a multi-function. This detector will not use only for the user. It also can use for the local authority if they want to check, or for the manager, or also for the stakeholder if they want to check their quality of the product, example like agriculture. So this is the thing that we are trying to apply that, because now you can see like we develop the sensor. It's a very easy and very normal everywhere in the world. Everybody can develop this, but how we can multiply it and can use for the different purpose is the most important thing that we want to discuss, and we want to do here. And also like Mr. Tai also sharing about the eco materials and how do we do when we combine with the technology. And we also can see the managed water come in and come out, and what kind of material is going to be good for each different area and also different scales. We also can apply this. So this we call the smart detector and also smart eco material is the first first package. And the second one, like I'm just sharing with you, that we want to inspire the idea to the young generation, that you also can find all of the urban issue or the problem around you, and you will come up with this one using the different people, different function, and you can develop something new that and can show and mitigate the urban issue. With the second one, that we also can build up the first the second incubator for the UH in Vietnam, because we also have the campus over there. And the next one, the package number 3, we are also now doing right now with the Khunam University and also the other partners, that we want to build up the education platform. In the platform, we also can apply the VR, visualize everything. So the student, and it's not only for the student, it's also for the stakeholder, or for the farmer, because the farmer, they cannot understand what is the meaning of this and the meaning from the detector. So but they can see from the finger, and they also can see from the visual light, from the video, that okay, what is the meaning, what is the problem, and they can show this. So this is our ambitions, that we can combine between the research project and also the education to everything. So I will end up with our big project and sharing the idea with to you all, and I hope that you will feel something interesting. Thank you for all of the listening.
So thank you very much, Dr. Tu Anh, and all the panelists of the first group. It's very interesting, and it's already raised a lot of questions, at least in my mind. So I'm pleased to introduce to the stage now Dr. Kien To to share with us his vision. Thank you very much, Dr. Kien To.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. So first of all, thank you, ISCM, for inviting me to talk on this panel, and also would like to thank the moderator for introduction. So my name is To Kien from East Japan Engineering Consultants in Tokyo, and today I'm going to talk about smart, innovative, and livable, or in short SIL, or you can call SEAL towns. So case study from Japan and a vision of such model in Vietnam. And this work was conducted by a small team from my company, co-led by myself, and also the Vietnam part was conducted in collaboration with Nikken Sekkei Research Institute as part of a recent international competition in Ho Chi Minh City. So next. This is the structures of my talk, and with 3 parts. So the first part, I would like to summarize quickly about our studies in Japan, and then I will introduce about smart city, our concept about smart city in the post-pandemic world. And lastly, I would like to introduce a vision of our smart city model applied for Ho Chi Minh City. So it's part 1, a snapshot of our studies on SEAL Town in Japan. So we started with some research questions, for example, like what characteristic or lifestyle of residents in SEAL towns, sustainable, innovative, and livable towns. And we focus on smart public space. So which public space are popular? What smart or innovative features found there? And what are key principles that guide the planning and design of such public space? And we adopted mostly a qualitative research methods using some techniques as shown on the screen. So focus is a district level or a small town scale within a city. And we looked up at some impactful public space such as squares, street plaza, playground, park, and promenade. So here's some of our case sites in Japan. We chose three cases, three sites. First is the Kashiwanoha, and the second is Tsukuba City. Both are within the Great Tokyo area. And the last one is an island city within Fukuoka City at the south of Japan. So here, hello, about these three sites, like areas, for example, like all of them are at the scale of about 200 hectares with a population of about 10,000 people. And I'm not going into too much into details. Here you can see some of the master plans of this site. Some of the popular indoor types of public space in different categories, for example, like green and blue space, or square and plaza, playground, community gardens, sidewalk, and so on. And the next one is a field survey on indoor public space. For example, the city hall, the museum, the library, the cafe, co-working space, incubator, and so on. Especially, you can pay attention to the urban design center. It's very interesting that all of the sites had an urban design center to feature the tree helix model of collaboration between public sector, private sector, and academic sectors, and also for engaging the local community. So, here are some of our smart or innovative features that observed at the site. It's quite related, for example, like to energy, like real-time energy management, or renewable energy generators, or electric vehicle, or smart health monitoring, and so on, and so forth, or smart mobility as well. And also the features really regarding innovative. So conducted some street interviews with various types of residents of different backgrounds and ages. For example, like young professionals or students, one-person household or family with children, or high skilled or migrants or foreign residents, and so on. And from there, we could draw some of the generalized character and lifestyle of the residents. Please pay attention to the direct text. For example, like they are quite open-minded and sociable, and has a global and local point of view, family-oriented and active and healthy. And especially they are very keen on knowledge and learning, and so on and so forth. So from the input, we came up with some of the proposed scheme for the public space planning and design. So, for example, if you look at the yellow circle, the 6 yellow circle, these are the 6 keywords that we came out. For example, like shared is a keyword. You know, like share bike, you know, whatever, or mixed use is the keyword. This is very, especially in Vietnam context, we are very familiar with mixed use, right? Efficient, or eco-design, or inclusive, participatory, and safe, or comfortable. And from there, we concluded very important dimension for us, is very important dimension for planning and design public space. If you look, pay attention to the big circle, the 3 round, the nature, culture, and cyber. So this is all the main message in my presentation. Please remember nature, culture, and cyber. These are the key dimensions for the smart city. So in part 2, I would like to come a little bit closer, take a closer look at our concept of such smart city. So as you can see now, so usually, traditionally, our urban life mainly goes around our home or first place, and then our workplace or second place, and then various third places for social activities where we exercise, relax, play sport, and socialize. And in third places, nature and culture play a very important roles. And we suggest that home, office, and third places should be integrated within a town. And when people look for a new place to live, consideration on third place must become much more important than before. Digital transformation, or DX, has given birth to smart city. And this year, it has been accelerated by a superpower, the COVID-19. And the pandemic has shaken our world, locked down cities, and kicked out many of our activity onto the internet. So including telework, like if you work from home, if you work from office, or you work on vacation, then you will actually do teleworking, or e-learning, like webinar and so on, or like what we are doing right now, or social activity like party or online entertainment. So rapidly, actually, we are experiencing smart city right now at our daily life, at our new normal. So normal urban life comprises of the physical world, or the real world, and the cyber world, or the virtual world. But in smart city, these two systems are integrated to form a new environment. And within this town, where people can live, can work, and socialize in the new normal, the new normal lifestyle. And here, they can utilize cyber system more effectively. They can live more comfortably with a higher quality of life and enjoy rich nature and culture. In short, there are three key factors supporting such smart city: nature, culture, and cyber. And this is a graph to compare between the conventional smart city or innovative smart district or innovative district concept with our model. So you know that most of those models right now are focused very much on technology, very much on technology, very big part. And there very little attention has been paid for nature and culture. That's why those smart cities are not very attractive and also not very livable. Some even become ghost towns, such kind of in our modern life. So here are some of the, regarding transportation, here are some of our proposed transport modes in and seal towns. And there are some notable new modes, for example, like online, on-demand minibus to be booked by smartphone, or solar-powered bus, or autonomous driving BRT, or electric car, or Segway and hoverboard, and so on. Besides, green modes like cycling and walking. So let's look at one persona, just a conventional person like Mr. Nam, as a typical Vietnamese. He is high skilled, and he lives in Ho Chi Minh City. I don't know, District 5 or 10 or so on. And he bond a little bit with some of the local community, but he also has a different world. In the virtual world, he bond with friends in other part of Vietnam or abroad. And then Nam moves to the innovative district in the eastern part of Ho Chi Minh City. So here, he actually enjoy a different world. There are different type of third places, very instructive, that he can really make friend and bond with people from different country, like John, like Wang, like Suzuki here. And also those people, those friends are actually also members of many interest groups in cyber communities. For example, like online book lover or language exchange club and so on. So they bond by both real world and virtual world. And so they enjoy very much a community bonding as well as place attachment, which make them much happier to live and work. And then when Nam grows to become a successful businessman, he actually has a broad connection in the physical world with the expo, with the conference like the MICE kind of platform and startups. But he also bond with different partners through the cyber core system, and the cyber core system to connect to many smart cities around the world. So this is the kind of complete system of the virtual and the actual world. And also, in such kind of town, we also feature some very interesting public space where actually people can come together. It, of course, is Wi-Fi covered, and people can come together, can play online game together, and have fun and laugh together. And also, they can do study together, like webinars with different people from around the world. So, such kind of a mix. Real and virtual social interaction is very important in the smart city. City for Ho Chi Minh City. And at the end of my presentation, I will show a 2-minute video. So this is the location of such an innovative city. You know that this is comprised of 3 districts, and now it's being promoted to become a new city within city. It's called Tu Duc City. And it was a national competition that our Japanese team took part. So these are our master plan, and also here is a diagram to show various type of parks that formulate the nature, what I call nature in my talk, to be proposed in Ho Chi Minh City. And this is some of the or of influence kind of urban planning for the new town. This is the master future town, which is the seal town in my talk. I'm not going into details, but these are the master plans, and this is the map of all the parks, different kind of park, like even adventure park or experience park or wild park and so on, for different kind of activities, and so right. And then this is art system, like different urban arts, like installation and so on. And so that represent nature, culture at the other dimension. And also cyber system of cyber core that feature the 3 helix, like the government, the private sector, the academic sector, and at the bottom at the community. So all come together to collaborate and to operate the city. And we also propose the flagship project split into near cyber and culture that I will not go in details. So this is the talk. And now I'd like you to enjoy 2-minute videos of our vision of such a smart city for Ho Chi Minh City. Thank you very much. So please help me to play the videos. Thank you very much. And actually, this video was edited by myself, and it will be uploaded very soon on the YouTube next month. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kian, and so interesting. And very quickly, I'd like to introduce to you the last speech of Karim Medjat. Just before presenting Karim, I'd like to mention that we work with Karim and me. We work in. We have a chance to work together for the whole year of 2019 and a little bit of 2020 on the different projects, and we traveled around the world and visited quite a lot of big cities in the world. So Karim, could you please share with us why do you think about the scenario management when we ask you to talk about the smart city vision? So I don't see, could you please explain us what is a scenario management?
Okay. Scenario planning, in fact, is a technique that enables us to look at the far future on a given subject. So when we talk about smart cities as we see them today are very tech-oriented, for example. And looking at the far future enables us to look at other dimensions of the smart cities, in particular, the way they are organized. Their organization will change. And we don't know yet which scale will apply to the state organization. We don't know yet how much autonomy cities will have. We don't know yet how interconnected cities will be across the world. So right now, we just have a very cultural vision of things, a mix of culture and technology vision of things. Scenario planning enables us to explore all the other dimensions in the far future. Once we do that, once we identify new dimension, that could be social organization, but that also could be a different vision of technology. Technology might play a totally different role or be valued totally differently in one generation from now. So when we look at the next generation, we look at things that may be radically different. And these radically different dimensions are things that, once we have analyzed them, can be understood regarding what we could do now to make them happen or not happen. In other words, if we look at the far future and see something we don't like, this thing we don't like, when we examine the situation, when we examine the scenario, we can understand how it happened. We can understand which event triggered that situation. So that tells us what not to do now in order to avoid it, or what to do now in order to avoid it. Likewise, if we find something we like in the future, we will understand how it happened, and it tells us what to do now to make it happen. So different futures, and when we look at how they happen, we understand also what we have to do now to make one happen instead of another.
Yes, yeah, I totally agree with you. And I remember still, it's our discussion about the when we talk about smart city, we see immediately the high technology application everywhere, the camera everywhere, the detector everywhere, the intelligence, artificial, the robots everywhere. But when we were in Seoul, in Korea, you see that it's very well combined between the old town, I mean the old part of the town and the traditional parts and the very modern parts, right? Another question, Karim, could you please tell us how long does it take to use, to apply this kind of scenario planning?
Well, it's very, it depends really on what you want to do. I have done scenario exercises in 2 days or 3 days maximum, and you come up with very nice findings, very surprising findings, and have done other scenario exercises that lasted almost a year. It depends how much data you want to feed in the process, how many people you want to interview. So the scale varies significantly from one exercise to another.
But for Vietnam, for example, you visited Vietnam once. So how do you think about the Vietnam situation?
Well, again, it depends who's asking the question for what purpose. If it is, for example, the future of a center on smart city, okay, from the point of view of society, this is something that could be done in a couple of days. In a couple of days, we can come up with new mission, for example, for this center. New mission based on the type of futures we're looking at.
Okay, yes, thank you. And maybe the last question, who do you think can participate in this scenario planning?
Well, the interest of the scenario planning is that all the point of views are welcome, because the purpose is to make very different scenarios. So the more different we are, the better. So normally a scenario exercise should be very open in terms of participation, and you should bring very diverse people with very diverse opinions and agendas.
Okay, so thank you very much. As we have a kind of limited of time, so we will come back maybe with a little bit later for the session question and answers. So let me just very quickly summarize the speech of the panelists. I think from my point of view, the innovative approach could be found and could be seen by different ways. According to our panelists, I think that we can find it by optimizing the use of technology in local life, like the case of smart detector, and by using the eco material and involving more and more local people through a kind of applied science incubator. The second way of for us to find the innovative approach is to focus more on inclusion. I mean that for the smart city, we maybe focus like Dr. Tai in Dr. Tai's and in Dr. Kien's presentation, we can focus more on the adapting the infrastructure to different communities. And the third way is to use the scenario planning in order to anticipate and to react accordingly, I mean, even for the future. And finally, to build a smart city, we should think about a sustainable city. So thank you very much to all the panelists, and let's move to the next part. Is it okay for everybody?
Yes, sure.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay, so I don't know whether I don't see any question from the public, the audience part. So let me raise some question here. So maybe some of you can join us. To all the panelists, yeah, thank you very much for sharing with us your approach and your innovative approach. But could you please, for everyone, I think can start from Tu Anh, Dr. Tu Anh. What is the strength and the weakness of your innovative approach?
I think it's a very difficult. Thank you for your questions. I think it's very difficult to saying that what is the strengthness or what is the weakness to apply the innovation approach. In my point of view, from the urban planning and also design view, we are thinking about the innovation and innovative. It should be that we can, what thing we can handle, what thing we can show for the urban issues. And after that, I think the most difficulty here now in Vietnam, in our position, we see like the difficult for the integration between the different field, and also like from the multi-different level, like from local authority, like stakeholder, and so researcher and education. Example, like right now, we have our own idea, we want to develop it, but we don't have enough budget to test it, to apply this. And if we have the budget to apply this, to do this, we also don't have any support policy or the local authority or the government structures to support it to go to apply in to see how it's going on. So I think it's the most difficult. And I think the second thing is really very important. It's like right now for like I said in the beginning, from our point, the smart city is mean that you have to be show the urban issue that you are select, and with your efficiently resources, and you apply the technology. But now, right now, like in example, I give an example in Vietnam. Also, the other developing country or developing city, how do? They can have the one budget, and they can say, okay, we will provide this for every sector. So transportation also thinking about the how to make it smart, health, business, innovation, everything like this. But this not go in the one target. So it means that transportation, they have their own urban issue. And also environment, they also have their own issue. So it's not matching with the different, so it cannot do anything. So I think it's also something very weakness. But the most, I think, like right now in our country, the strength is going to be our young generation. They are very inspiring and they want to do something new, and they are very good in applying technology, and they are willing to do this. So I think it's also for the human resources. We also have the one very strengthness for this one.
Yeah, totally agree with you, because it's really, we see very much the advantages of the high technology. For example, if we use the smart detector for waste management, but we still don't see the link between the smart detector and the, the recycling. I'm thinking very much about the problem of the waste, use solar panel. We talk a lot in the social network about these problems. So, Dr. Đức, could you please share with us your thinking about strength and weakness of the smart detector approach? Mình nói bằng tiếng Việt một chút. Sorry, Karim, I will speak in Vietnamese.
You can speak in Vietnamese because now we have the word the participants.
Okay.
Yes.
I think Mr. Tai will sharing something.
Okay, I can share.
Yeah, okay.
You can question. I give. Okay.
So I think for Ms. Oanh, she was just want to like how we can apply for smart detector, right? In our community, what is the strength, what is the weakness? We are also thinking, and we discussed a lot about this when how we can apply here. Like I'm just sharing in the beginning that how we make the integration between the different and how we can apply this for the multi-purpose, because technology cannot solve all of the problem. Technology can use only with a smart citizen and also good infrastructure. If not, it can be terrible. So like from our side, when we make the decision that we will try to get the first pilot with a smart detector, we say that, okay, we provide the one, or we design one smart detector that is multiple use. So farmer can use, a stakeholder can use, local authority also can use, and the people that they control the quality of the product also can use. So it's only one smart detector can use for the different people. And we also thinking that this is one way for the innovative and one way that we can apply for the other. But if only the technology you buy from like the other country apply here is always fail. Yes.
Sure. Dr. Tai, do you want to share something? No? Very quickly.
Okay, I will explain about smart detector. About smart detector, is the first one. The smart detector is energy. Energy we can take from take from the maybe it's sun is a sun of the sunlight the solar of energy, and we can use can put in some vehicle, and it is easy for everybody can use. So it is better for detector. Maybe I don't understand, but it's my suggestion.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Kian, how about your approach? What is the strength? I think it's clear everybody see the strength of your approach, but how about the weakness?
I think the weakness now when we do the project, we feel the weakness now that we also lacking of the integration support, really, right? And we also, I think it's the most the thing that we have seen is the weakness. And the second thing, I think maybe it's the number one, that we have to priority what the issue that we want to solve.
Priority,
Like we are
yeah.
talking like the air pollution, many things with the air pollution. So what thing we want to show with for the air pollution, or like waste management? What do we want to use? Because if we have the good or smart detector, but the people, the citizen cannot use this, so cannot use it in the good way. So it's also the weakness.
Yeah.
So I think it's our group ideas like this.
But I have a special question to Dr. Kian because thinking about the livable town, we think a lot about the how to say our generation. So very soon we will be how to say get old, be retired, or something like that. In Vietnam, I think that we have a generation of our parents who are now old now. I think the high technology is not very comfortable for them. So how do you think about that, about this community in the smart city?
Well, thank you for your question. So, of course, I would like to come back to my key points that smart has to come with livable, right? So that's very clear. So without smart or a lot of technology, but without nature or without culture, we won't have attractive or livable city, and we would just all become ghost towns. So that's a very clear message. So now let's focus on technology. In my part, there is a three part, right? So nature, culture, and cyber. And cyber is part of the technology. I would actually split I understand all of the key points of the concern and the challenges, especially regarding funding and financial resources for high techs. So I would split into two groups. The first group is what you guys are doing, for example, like smart detectors or any kind of very high tech that need financial resources and that need to be operated by experts. So that is one group. And so I would like to touch on the other group, which is more common for common people, for the general populace, for crowdsourcing, like all the crowds are contributing their big data, So for such kind of group, we actually don't need a lot of money. We don't need a lot of high techs. For example, I just give you, actually smart city is not something very far future. It's also not something at our doorstep, but actually it's already in our living room. It's already in our dining room. When we are doing, as in my message, in my talk, when we are doing teleworking, when we are having online party, when we actually, like my parents, when they are booking their taxi or GoViet, from their smartphone, they are actually doing that. At the beginning, they was really like hesitating on technology, but now they really love it. Grabs, no more traditional taxi, only Grabs or GoViet or something like that. So they got used to with that and set a simple app that everyone can use. So what I want to say is that Uber or Airbnb, they are also like they are pioneers of a new economy that based on simple technologies that everyone can use. And in the Vietnam context, especially when we talk about our concern about money, I would recommend that we focus more on the second group, where we don't need so much money. We just apply very simple technology that everyone can use, even the older generation that you are mentioning. I'm sure they will, with the support of other generation, like if they don't know, they can ask their children or their grandchildren, even their grandchildren. Right now, the kids, they are very smart and they are very quick on touching on such technology. They can teach their grandpa or grandma on that. So I think let's start small, but build a breadth, right? We build a breadth to touch on the common populace. And one example is the controlling. One of the examples is now the government policy to control coronavirus spreading, right? And they are promoting like blue zone or something, right? F, right? Everyone can just use. But that is one example of how we all come together using technology, and we start practicing smart city right now. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kian. So Karim, a few words about the weakness of the scenario planning approach?
Well, yeah, there are several. I'm not sure if it is weakness, there are dangers. The first is that when you make a scenario exercise, you find things you never considered before. And the next question is, once you have found them, what do you do with it? And typically, people who launch a scenario exercise don't understand that at the end of the exercise, they're likely to come up with something that would force themselves to change. And when they're not prepared to make changes, it is problematic. That's one aspect which I want to emphasize. There's another one which I think needs to be emphasized. When you bring people into a scenario exercise, you bring a lot of hope, because we come up by seeing, the same light at the end of the tunnel somewhere. But again, once we have agreed on the where to go, how to go, the big problem is, are the decision makers willing to actually do it afterwards? And typically the problem is at the end of a scenario exercise, especially when you do that in an organization, when the scenario exercise is over, the management typically says, okay, go back to work, without much changes. And you can generate a lot of frustration when you don't implement changes after a scenario exercise.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So I think the time it's a little bit overused, the time dedicated. So thank you very much. And I hope that really we can have another chance to talk again, and then to discuss and to share and really to apply. So I leave back the stage to the organizer of the discussion of the webinar. Ms. Thao, could you please help me to conclude? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's the one. Ladies and gentlemen, our event is wrapped up now. And thank you to panelists for sharing with us the interesting presentation and discussion. Tomorrow we will also have the fourth webinar discussion about the smart campus planning towards centralized city and college town at 6 p.m. Please follow us at fanpage ISCM for more information. I hope you guys have a nice day. Stay tuned and see you in the next event at ISCM.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. See you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.